significant development in the LG versus Delhi government tussle. LG sources have now given out details of harassment. Nearly 8 instances of alleged harassment that have come to light, where Republic has accessed a letter from an IAS officer to the Chief Secretary saying that Minister Saurabh Bhardwaj, who did not pay any heed to his submission and went on shouting in an extremely aggressive and intimidating tone and posture. It's a big development as the tussle between the Delhi government continues with the LG office. Sources within the LG office have put out details of harassment by ministers in the Delhi government, where they've gone on to say that Minister Saurabh Bhardwaj had not paid any heed to the submission of an IAS officer to the Chief Secretary and went on shouting in an extremely aggressive and intimidating tone and posture. Republic has also accessed this letter. My colleague Alisha will join us shortly to give us more details and the operational points mentioned in this letter. But 8 instances, all in all, as we are learning, of alleged harassment that have come to light. It is a significant development as the tussle continues, and sources in the LG office have given out details of harassment, as is the claim they are making. Alisha is joining us from the Mumbai newsroom as she has a copy of this letter. Alisha, take us through the details of it and what all it states, as this is a big charge against the ministers in the Aam Aadmi Party government in the national capital, where they are alleging harassment.
Well, yes, Suesha. Republic has accessed a letter of an IAS officer which was written to the Chief Secretary, and he has clearly mentioned the behavior of a cabinet minister, Delhi cabinet minister Saurabh Bhardwaj. So I would like to read of the important points which has been mentioned in the letter, as it mentioned that the letter which was written on, this letter was given on 16th May 2023, and it is clearly mentioned that today I was informed by my personal staff that has been called by Saurabh Bhardwaj, Honorable Minister, to his chamber on 7th floor of the Delhi Secretariat. I immediately went to the chamber upon meeting the Honorable Minister. He said that he had asked for all files pertaining to early years decision, but files relating to the period subsequent to April 22 had not reached him so far. So he also mentioned that he was informed that I have already been informed the concerned officer of the service department to provide all the files to the office of the Honorable Minister. But what is here to mention, because there are important points that has been mentioned, the behavior specifically of an minister, Delhi minister, clearly stating that I requested the Honorable Minister that I may be allowed to go so that I can resume preparing the second of records of proceeding of the CSB meeting, which was held today at 10:30 AM. He retorted by saying that क्या proceeding बना रहे हो, कागज ही काले करने हैं तुमको, you have wasted all the time since 11th of May 2023 and you have absconded from your duty and deliberately you are not following the directions of the elected government. Where he also mentioned that, he also said to the minister that, sir, we are following the instructions, and in fact I have already instructed the concerned officer of the service department to provide all the details. But what is the minister has been doing? He clearly been intimidating is what been mentioned here. It has been said clearly by an IAS officer, but the Honorable Minister did not heed to my submission and went on shouting in an extremely aggressive and intimidating tone and posture. Not only this, but he also stated that thereafter he ordered Mr. Kinney Singh, who is a special secretary, also to sign the same statement and put on the date. Also, Kinney Singh was reluctant to sign the statement. But what Honorable Minister got up from his chair and brought the paper in front of me, kept it on the table and asked me to sign the same by coming face to face, bending over me. He was looming over me in a very physical, aggressive way, and I could not get up from my seat. It was as if he was going to physically assault me at any moment. I would like to repeat the statement as what mentioned by an IAS officer. He was looming over me in very physically aggressive way and I could not get up from my seat. It was as he was going to physically assault me at any moment. I humbly told the Honorable Minister that I am not the custodian of the record. The file records of the office remains in the custody of concerned branch head like deputy secretary. So here is then IAS officer who has written a letter to the chief secretary clearly showing the behavior of an honorable minister, that is Saurabh Bhardwaj, how he was physically harassed, how he was mentally pressured just for the sake of the files which was asked by Saurabh Bhardwaj. But this is the letter that has been given by an IAS officer, Ashish More, who stated that rather the fact asking for documents or files, but here Saurabh Bhardwaj, who was forcefully, he was intimidating the officer where he could not even get up from his chair when he has requested that he need to go to his cabin so that he can get some concern letters and the paper related to this request that has been made by the minister. But rather than allowing him to do his duty, to continue with his duty, but here the minister who intimidated the officer and he could not even get up from his chair because for an officer who is saying that he felt like he is going to get a physical assault from the Saurabh Bhardwaj, who is the cabinet minister of Delhi.
You know, Alisha, in the backdrop of the ordinance passed by the centre and the centre moving review plea in the Supreme Court over control of services verdict, this may just be another angle that will really add when it comes to the centre and how they are putting up their case when it comes to the review plea in the top court, but especially bureaucrats taking their particular cases of harassment and now bringing it to light adds another dimension to it. Alisha, for the moment, I want to thank you for joining us. We also have more responses to this. Let's listen in.
तो दिल्ली में काम करने वाले अफसरों के निर्णय के बारे में एक पारदर्शी और उत्तरदायी प्रक्रिया के लिए ये ऑर्डिनेंस लाया गया है.
Not only is this a contempt of Supreme Court, it is absolutely an unconstitutional ordinance because a power that is given by the Constitution cannot be taken away by a notification or by an ordinance or even by a law.
कोर्ट का निर्णय आया था, उस निर्णय को पढ़ लेते, समझ लेते, उसके अनुरूप कार्य करते. मुझे ये बता दें केजरीवाल, रात को 3 बजे ताले तोड़ के फाइल कॉपी करने की क्या जरूरत थी? जैसे ही निर्णय आया उससे
आप बता दीजिए क्या कारण?
अपनी चोरी छुपा रहे हैं, अपना भ्रष्टाचार छुपा रहे हैं. उनको पता है कि जो अफसर उनके खिलाफ जांच कर रहा है उसी अफसर को हटाने की मांग कर रहे हैं.
Of the center to bring the ordinance on this, when I say that there is reason behind this, the Constitution says and Constitution clearly said कि the authority is Lieutenant Governor, and the act of Arvind Kejriwal government is like that you are above the Constitution and you're behaving like that. न खाता न बही, जो केजरीवाल कहे वही सही, that is Hindi phrase on that.
ये अध्यादेश माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले के अनुसार ही है. जब उन्होंने फैसला दिया था तभी कहा था कि ये सर्विसेज की ट्रांसफर पोस्टिंग कैसे होगा, इसके नियम की स्पष्टता के लिए केंद्र कानून ला सकता है और केंद्र